6 days ago, Progressive Field was covered in a blanket of snow. Today it feels like summer as the reigning American League Cy Young Award winner Shane Bieber takes the hill for the Tribe in hopes of a split in his two-game series against the Kansas City Royals. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. Man, what a day we have here this afternoon at the ballpark. Feels like midsummer. This is absolutely ideal. Hopefully the Indians can slow down Whit Merrifield. Arch, you go back to 2018 and then 19. Merrifield led the majors back-to-back years in hits. He was on pace for about 190 hits last year, which would have put him right there at the top of the leaderboard again. Is he now the most consistent day-in, day-out hitter in Major League Baseball?
Without a doubt. He has the longest streak going on consecutive games played, and he's the most underrated hitter in the game of baseball. He drilled a pitch right down the middle of the plate to give Kansas City an early lead, 2-0 the other night. And this guy has been around. He's so consistent. It doesn't matter where you put him on the field, but he can play. And you can see his hit chart this year. You see the singles going to left field. What that tells me is more teams are pitching him inside, Matt, because he's pulling more balls. Yeah. Normally, he goes to the right field side of the field and gets a lot of hits because they pitch him away. They're trying something different, but it's not working on him so far.
Good hitters make adjustments.
Yes,
Whit Merrifield's done that. Shane Bieber, he's also great at making adjustments. Opening day in Detroit, it was a miserable day. Gave up a two-run homer in the first, then struck out a dozen Tigers in his 6 innings of work.
Well, it shouldn't surprise us. He comes out, and he really locked it in after that first inning. They hit the two-run home run in the first, but he really settled down. He couldn't help it. They didn't give him any support over there. He's going to need a little help from his offense, but Shane Bieber is going to be Shane Bieber. We know one thing. He's going to strike people out. He is the fewest games to get to 500 strikeouts as a Cleveland Indian. You see the names on that list. He's going to go out there. He's going to continue to throw the good breaking stuff and give his team a chance to win a ball game. Offensively, he needs a little help.
All right, first pitch is just moments away between the Indians and Royals. When we come back, Al and Jensen are talking Flintstones. What? How about Yabba Dabba Doo? That's right, baby. And we'll check in with Jensen and Andre Knott straight ahead.
Tribe and Royals today here at Progressive Field. Game 2 in this brief two-game series with KC. After an off day yesterday, Kansas City will play the final game with the Tribe here before they head out of town. Off day tomorrow. Indians will play Detroit this weekend. Welcome back to the ballpark. Alongside Jensen Lewis, I'm Al Pulowski. When you take a look around the American League Central early in the season, it's off to a great start, really almost all the teams. And for the Tigers, they've got a pretty good-looking rookie in Akil Baddoo. He's 4 for 8 with 2 homers and 6 runs batted in to start his Tigers career.
Hit the first pitch he saw in the big leagues against the Indians out for a homer, had a grand slam, and then, for good measure, gets your first splash landing. Big fella walks off against the Twins. This guy already becoming a Detroit legend, but, a guy that they were pretty high on, hadn't played above high A. All of a sudden, he's making his presence felt here in the big leagues.
Here's something I never thought I'd be saying in early April. An ice shower would feel great right now.
Absolutely it would.
Andre, don't you agree with me?
Come on, Big Al.
Having an ice bath would be great today. It's like summer.
Hey, that means it's baseball season, Al. We can talk about that. You be cool over there in that new place you guys got. Let's talk about some more young guys around the American League Central. You guys talked about Baddoo. We know a lot about him. We'll see him here this weekend with Detroit. In Chicago with the White Sox, they have the Mercedes going on, the kid that can't get out. Well, for Kansas City, they have a young guy as well. His name is Kyle Isbell. Get used to the name. He's a third-round pick from 2018. He was at the alternate site last year for KC. And now, in his first at-bat on opening day, guys, he had an RBI single, as you see right there. Smooth left-handed stroke for the young guy. Arch, Rick, Matt, you guys been around a long time. In Kansas City, they're hoping this is the next Alex Gordon. They're hoping this is the next Salvi. They're hoping this is the next guy that is with the Royals for the next 10 to 15 years, because the one thing that stood out about him last year, he didn't play in the big leagues, but he went against all their big league pitchers, and they said he showed up the same every single day with that smooth left-handed stroke, whether it was a left-handed pitcher or a right-handed pitcher. It's a name and a face to remember now in the AL Central.
The Royals and the Indians both have one thing very much in common. They must draft and develop the next wave of star players, because they can't afford, frankly, to go out and compete on the open market for free agents that have already established themselves. So, Rick, they've got to find those guys, develop them, and hopefully get them here quickly.
Yeah, and it's just a matter of everybody going out there, getting at-bats. We're going to see him. We'll see him, 18 more times this year, and I don't know how many he'll play, but we'll keep an eye on him, Andre, that's for sure.
So, first few games, conditions not ideal offensively. Terry Francona said, how many times you hear guys come back to the dugout where they hit a ball right on the screws and it just didn't carry, and it's frustrating. And that's the way it is in Cleveland, Chicago, Detroit early in the season. That is not the case here today, Rick. You barrel one up today, it's going to go.
Yeah, it's a beautiful April afternoon here in downtown Cleveland, and Shane Bieber is going to toe the rubber for the Indians. He'll make his second start of the year. The first one, I mean, you want to talk about changes. He's going out there short sleeves. Remember, it was snowing. It was a blizzard in Detroit. He had a tough time. He gave up 2 runs in that first inning, but he ended up with 12 strikeouts. Really held his team in the ball game. Gave up the 3 runs. He walked 3. Had a couple of wild pitches because it was just bad conditions. I'm sure he's happy to be starting at home. He's going to get his first look at the Kansas City team this year.
And we'll take a look at the Kansas City Royals starting lineup for manager Mike Matheny. They've got a new leadoff man today. They tell us the W is silent. It's hit Merrifield. Then Andrew Benintendi, Carlos Santana hitting third. Salvi Perez, Jorge Soler, Hunter Dozier. He's back in the lineup. Hasn't played since opening day. Kyle Isbell, who Andre just told you a little bit about, will hit 7th. Michael Taylor 8th, and Nicky Lopez batting 9th.
Take a look at the Indians defense. It looks like this. In the outfield, Rosario is in left, Gamble in center, Naylor over in right. It'll be Ramirez at third. Jimenez is the shortstop. Hernandez at second. Bowers gets the start at first. And Roberto Perez will be catching Shane Bieber this afternoon.
Jim Reynolds to call the balls and strikes. Tony Randazzo, the crew chief, is at first. Todd Tishner at second. Chad Whitson down at third. 73 degrees, sunny skies in downtown Cleveland as we approach the first pitch here today. Royals off to a fast start. They are 3-1. The Indians just 1-3. But they've got their ace on the hill, the reigning Cy Young Award winner. And we'll see if they can't turn the tables on Kansas City and get a victory today.
Well, it was this guy that did all the damage in the first game of this series, drove in all 3 runs. And he just, you know, he started his career late, coming up when he was about 29 years old or so, but he is just continuing to get better and better.
Swings at the first pitch, and it's foul.
You know, and we showed that hit chart in our open about Merrifield, and normally he's a right center field guy where he stays on the baseball, but we saw most of his hits this year being pulled. I think more teams are trying to throw him inside, but they're not getting him there yet.
Is it as simple as saying he's a guy that looks away and reacts in?
Oh yes, absolutely. I mean, you could throw it out there on a dime on the outside corner and he would wait on it and just drill it down the right field line. He's proven to me, and I'm sure a lot of other pitchers in this game, you can't stay out there with him. You got to really mix it up well because he makes adjustments very well in the batter's box.
Shane Bieber with a 1-2. Got him looking, painted the outside corner with a fastball.
And that's not an easy thing to do. Paint the outside corner on this guy, because usually he'll either try to foul it off or put it in play. But let's take a look at it. You're going to see all the pitches. Most of it away. That was a little bit off the plate. That's why he didn't swing. But if that's going to be the call today, right-handers could be in trouble against Bieber.
Normally, when you're in a bit of a funk at the plate, facing the guy who won the Cy Young Award winner, it's not exactly what the doctor would order up for you. But Andrew Benintendi is now 6 for 10 against Shane Bieber.
Well, he must be seeing the ball well out of his hand, but he picks a breaking ball, stayed back on it beautifully. This is going to be a curveball that Benintendi hits. And right there, stayed back. That ball might have been up a little bit. So he will get the first hit of the afternoon.
Nice hand for Carlos Santana, who in his return to Progressive Field was 0 for 4. in the home opener. Bieber misses in off the plate. Ball 1. Santana sitting on 799 career runs batted in.
And 995 career walks. And that's what made him. I mean, Carlos normally a notorious slow starter at the beginning of the season, but that's one thing that always kept him alive. He'd be on base once or twice a game with a walk.
Drilled to deep left. Long run for Eddie Rosario. Onto the warning track and makes the play. Merrifield was around, or excuse me, Benintendi was around second. He had to re-tag, and there are 2 away.
When that first left the bat, I thought it was going to get down because it was slicing away from Rosario. He got underneath it just a little too much, and it just hung in the air and allowed Rosario to get over there and make a running catch. It was slicing away from him, but they get the second out. And if Carlos starts swinging the bat and tries to go the other way like he did 2 years ago, he can be a dangerous hitter for them.
Now Salvador Perez. Got a piece, and it's 1-1.
Well, Selby took the first one, and it was awfully close right on the outside edge, but he wasn't going to take 2 in a row. He likes to swing the bat, and I would think that he would try and swing. You may need 3 swings against Bieber if he's going to locate today.
They appeal, but he did not go. And it's 2-1 for Salvador Perez, the comeback player of the year a season ago. Royals tied him up with a long-term contract extension in the offseason. It was Salvador Perez who really campaigned for the team to go out and get Carlos Santana in the offseason. And Perez has the kind of cachet that when he asks, they don't just listen, out of some sense of, well, okay, I'll get back to you. No, they pursued it.
He's been the heart and soul of this ball club for a while, and he's been the leader in that clubhouse. And if he, gives you thumbs up on something, let's go. We're all in.
3 on the left side for Perez. Bieber's 3-1 pitch slowed it down. Nice hook, and it's a full count.
Yeah, really took something off that pitch there and located it beautifully.
Interesting, Rick, at a 3-1 count, a 3-1 count, that Perez would be hacking at that.
Well, he's just looking for the baseball out there. He doesn't matter. He was set and geared and ready to go. He helped him out on the 1-0 pitch. So 3-1, it's no different. He wants to hit that ball out of here. Even though he swings and misses, he's going to live for one more pitch.
Benintendi will be off with the 3-2. Fastball a little bit low. Ball 4.
Well, you're going to say that's just a tad low. Good. He tried to throw a dart on the outside corner and missed.
Storylines brought to you by Wayside Furniture. Bieber strikeout watch. He punched out a dozen in the opener. He's the fastest of 500 strikeouts in Indians history. And we'll see if the Indians can get on the board offensively. What is it about the first inning this year? The Indians pitching staff has not been able to have a 1-2-3 inning yet in the first inning. and only one time, and that was in the home opener, have they gotten out of the first inning scoreless, and that took some doing because the Royals ended up loading the bases in the first inning on Monday.
Who knows? Just the first time through, these guys are trying maybe a little bit too hard to put up a 0. In his first start, he was pitching in a blizzard, so there's not much you could do there. You remember in his first start, Matt, in that first inning, everything he threw was up in the first inning. You know, now in this inning, everything has been down. You know, and he tried to elevate that pitch on Soler because he's got a hole up above the belt.
Now the 1-1. Low and away. Nine balls, 9 strikes for Bieber here in the opening frame. Really good breaking ball there. Slider, 2-2.
You can see he's making a conscious effort to keep the ball down, and if you miss off the plate, because what's going through his mind is, I want a 0 on that board. Doesn't matter how many pitches right now. He's searching for it, but he'll get into a groove here real soon. That was a beautiful breaking ball.
2 on, 2 out. And the 2-2 from Bieber. Painted a fastball and struck him out looking. Shane K's 2 in the first. And the Indians are coming to bat.
To be the Northern Ohio Hyundai starting pitcher for the Kansas City Royals this afternoon. You know, he was a starting pitcher last year. He was into the bullpen this year. So this is pretty much going to be a bullpen game. Last year, 8 games, 6 starts, didn't pitch very well, so he's going to end up coming out of the bullpen. We don't know how long he's going to pitch today.
Quick look at the lineup brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Ben Gamel, Cesar Hernandez, Jose Ramirez, then Eddie Rosario, Franmil Reyes, and Josh Naylor. Jake Bowers, Roberto Perez, Andres Jimenez hitting 9th. And the first pitch up and away to Ben Gamel. Just 0 for 4 to start the year. Gamel signed with the Indians on February the 11th, right before spring training began in earnest in Goodyear. Made a fast impression on the coaching staff, and his ability to help out at any of the outfield spots certainly helps cement a position on the roster for him. He bounces this one to second. 1 away.
Take a look at the Royals defense in the outfield. Benintendi in left, Taylor in center, Isbell in right. Dozier makes his first start in the series. He's at third, Lopez at short, Merrifield at second, Santana is at first, and again, another Perez catching.
Oh, yeah. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. Take me out to the ball game on a beautiful day here at Progressive Field. Cesar Hernandez with a 1-ball, 1-strike count. And a fly ball to center. Rick, there are those who say, hey, an out is an out. It doesn't matter what kind of an out. Strikeouts aren't any worse than anything else. But then there are those who say, hey, when you put the ball in play, there's a chance something good could happen. Whereas when you strike out, nothing good happens.
Right.
The Indians so far this year, and I know it's 4 games, they have struck out the fewest number of times in the American League. And the closest team to their 22 strikeouts is Boston with 32. White Sox and Twins have struck out more than twice as much already as the Indians. What does that, if anything, tell you about this club 4 games in?
Nothing, to be honest with you.
Thanks. All right, we'll get back to you later.
I mean, there hasn't been a lot of contact. They haven't hit the ball hard. When they have hit it hard, guys have made plays on them. But you know what? For 4 games, it's nothing. I mean, think about it. In the scheme of 162, they're going to go through streaks like this, and every team will all year long. They're just waiting for somebody to come out and get a couple of key hits. That's all it takes.
Tito was asked the same question, Matt, and he kind of gave a Rick answer in his own way. A little bit more diplomatic. But
of course he is. He's the manager. That's why he gets the big bucks.
You get the big bucks, too. But he did say it's only 4 games, and he also said, I don't want these guys so patient that they're letting the best fastball go by. He goes, I'm telling these guys, go hit the first good fastball you get.
Wow.
One way or the other.
When do you ever see that? Jose Ramirez fooled by the pitch. He is out. The Indians go 1-2-3. Dozen Tigers on opening day at Comerica Park. Here's a look at those 12 strikeout pitches on StatCast 3D, powered by Google Cloud. A number of them, Rick, not even close to the strike zone.
And, no, but then when he has the curveball working, you'll see guys swinging. It's in the dirt. He elevates the fastball. But the key is getting ahead in the count, and he expands so well.
Hunter Dozier has been sidelined with a right thumb contusion since opening day. Got jammed pretty good in that first game for the Royals against Texas. Pops this one up right side. Jake Bauers. 1 down. And our stat of the game brought to you by Buick. Most consecutive games striking out 8 or more. That Randy Johnson guy's all over the leaderboard.
Well, it's no surprise. One of the best at striking him out.
I mentioned Bieber, the fastest to 500 strikeouts in Indians history. There's only a few guys ahead of him in Major League Baseball history. He did it in 67 games. Top of the leaderboard, Dwight Gooden. The doctor did it in 61 games. Yu Darvish, Jose Fernandez, Hideo Nomo, and then Shane Bieber. Fouled back out of play. Certainly, hitters have changed since the mid-1980s when Gooden burst onto the scene. The game, the approach has changed a lot since then. He was simply a phenomenon when he came on.
Yes, he was.
I mean, people were like, wow, we haven't seen anything like this in a long time.
Great fastball, great curveball, tremendous stuff.
The 2-2. Struck him out looking at the knees. That is a perfect pitch. And Kyle Isbell, the rookie, will go back to the dugout.
Well, all 3 of Shane Bieber's strikeouts have been looking. So he's made the perfect pitch, and he got Merrifield on the fastball, Soler on the fastball, and here's Isbell. He gets the fastball as well. And that's what happens when Shane Bieber's on. These hitters start looking for a breaking ball when they get to 2 strikes, and we've seen him a lot last year, just buzz fastballs right by him.
Now Michael Taylor. Yeah, the former National looks at a ball in the dirt. Taylor has hit in all 4. 7 out of 16 to start the year. And he's crossed up. He wasn't fully committed there.
No, caught in between there.
And there's that fastball with that great command outside corner at the knees.
Well, what's today? Wednesday. On Monday, we saw where there were a lot of pitches in the zone we thought were a strike. Today, it's a little different. That ball might be a ball width off the plate, and we've seen it get called already. So it's a different strike zone from Monday, that's for sure. So offensively, watch these hitters. They're going to have to make an adjustment. Ground
ball cut off by Andres Jimenez. And the Royals go 1-2-3. No score, middle of the second. Mario to lead it off. Rosario has hit in 3 of 4 games.
Jonas, a 10-pitch first inning.
3-man shift right side of the infield for KC. And Rosario wraps one to center. Michael Taylor has it measured. 1 away.
Well, download the MLB app to get in-game video highlights, live pitch-by-pitch, breaking news, player updates, stats, and much more.
You know, going back to our conversation about the Indians' slow start offensively and how weather is a factor. It's not the factor, but it does have a little bit of something to do with it. You know, Reyes stung a ball. Rosario stung a ball. They didn't get rewarded for it. They come back to the dugout, and they've got that look on their face like, my gosh. And, you know, Archie, you forget, you look at this lineup, and because of last year's shortened season, and that didn't start till July, 7 of the 9 starters have never played in Cleveland in the month of April.
I ran into that problem talking to Fran Mill. I go, you know it's like in April, and I realized as I said it, he doesn't. He'd never played here in April. To go off of that, and I know some people will take this one way, some will take it others. So far, the Indians have 11 balls in play with an exit velo of 96.8 miles per hour. Only 2 of those were hits the other day. 8 were at least 103 miles an hour. Now, I could give you more numbers, Arch, but basically that says the Indians hit the ball pretty hard 2 days ago and didn't get a lot to show for it. And I think that's what they're trying to tell these guys. Keep the same swings. These balls will drop at some point.
Well, we talked about it during the game. It's keeping a positive mental attitude individually when you hit a ball like that. You know, you don't want to get yourself crushed, and you're dealing with a lot of young hitters on this team.
Near the line, but that's going to go foul off the screen.
Not only haven't they spent time in Cleveland, you know, they don't really know this ballpark all that well. So, I mean, that's what they're trying to do. Keep it up. And all you can do is hit it hard. You can't direct it. But that's something you learn as a hitter. You hang with them and you keep right on grinding away.
And then the ballpark will play differently today, because this is a completely different day than what they had on Monday. The ball should fly if it's hit the way it was on Monday.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 down here in the second, no score. And Franmil Reyes waves at the breaking ball. Second strikeout for Junis, 2 down. He's retired all 5.
Well, he's got a very good slider when it's on, but he expands the zone of Reyes right here. That's the kryptonite there. Getting that breaking ball down in the way that he offers that. So gets a second out, second strikeout of the game.
Now Josh Naylor coming up. Naylor 0 for 3 on Monday, has a couple of doubles on the year. There's a hard hit ball into left center field. Indians have their first hit. First base runner with 2 down in the second.
Well, they put 3 on the right side, and that's one good way to beat the shift right there. He got a pitch. He waited on it nicely and just stayed on it. Takes it the other way. You can see where third baseman Hunter Dozier was way over almost to the shortstop side. A 2-out single keeps the inning going and give Jake Bauers a chance.
And a ground ball Nice play there by Lopez, the shortstop, with the shift on, throws out Bowers to retire the side. 2 complete, no score. Mobile coverage cam. From back there, it may not seem like much, but boy, all the bodies that are here, bathed in sunshine, enjoying a beautiful day at the ballpark.
Yeah, first week of April is beautiful.
Nicky Lopez leading off takes a strike. He has hit in 5 of his last 6 games against Cleveland pitching dating back to a year ago. 9 out of 20. Think about it. He's the guy that's in there because Adalberto Mondesi is injured. So, Rick, it really begs the question. They've got to find a place for this guy to play too, don't they, when Mondesi's healthy?
Well, it won't be second base. That's where Merrifield's at. No, he'll go back to a utility role. But I'll tell you what, with Mondesi, he adds a different dimension.
Wow, Bieber carved him up. 4th strikeout for Shane. And that ends the first trip through the lineup.
Now stepping in for the Royals, the leadoff hitter. Second baseman.
Well, you're going to see good breaking balls right here. There's the fastball to get ahead and then put him away on 2 curveballs. See you later. Quick work of him.
Now back to the top of the order and Whit Merrifield. I always like it when I see a nugget or a note that takes me back to your playing career. So Whit Merrifield with an extra base hit in each of his first 4 games this year. The only other Royal to ever do that, Amos Otis in 1982.
A.O., yes indeed. Used to play center field for him. Good outfielder. But that's when Kansas City had the turf in their field. Not that it matters nowadays. The grass is so nice.
Tough play for Naylor. He would have never gotten there anyway. The screen ends up taking it away from him.
I forget that screen's down the right field line because I don't really see it. And I think sometimes his balls are going to come back, but they don't. They end up hitting that screen. And that was, I think, elevated an extra 10 feet during the offseason. So that thing deflected off the screen and almost got him.
He's really fighting that sun, too.
Got him on the hand.
I mean, how do these guys play? You got to play differently down the line now with this fence, don't you?
Well, yeah.
Because you can't run full speed.
Well, yeah.
You can, but you end up like a fly caught in a spider's web. Hey, buzzing the tower there, pal.
By the way, in Motown, we'll see Detroit on Friday. Mr. Badu just hit an RBI triple in his first at bat.
Boy, he's killing his former team, isn't he?
Yeah, he really is. He put the Tigers up 1-0 over Twins, as you just said.
It's not personal. It's just business, Michael. The 1-2 in the dirt. By the way, Arch, A.O. in 1982, he finished with 39 extra base hits that year, which I imagine in 1982 still was pretty respectable. Whit Merrifield, though, his last 3 full seasons, 57, 58, and 67 extra base hits.
Yeah, he's an exciting player that I don't think the rest of baseball really appreciates as good as he is, because, you know, he came up as a second baseman, and then last year they started moving him around the outfield to get other people some time to see what they had. And, you know, he did it because he's a good team player. This year, he's at second base. They're going to keep him there all year long. That's why when you said Lopez, what do you do when Mondesi comes back? Lopez ends up going to the bench.
Oh, he waved at it. What a pitch by Bieber. That slider gives him 5 strikeouts on the afternoon.
He's got it working today, folks. And he gets him to chase this one. Remember, we showed you all those French fries where the balls and pitches were going. That's why that ball bounces in the dirt, but it's tough to pick up the spin to this pitch. And that's a key to get ahead of hitters. I mean, pitchers watch it. They do. They see it. That's what makes Shane Bieber so good.
Now Andrew Benintendi. About the only guy in this lineup that seems to have a good book on Bieber. He's 6 for 10 now in his career. former Boston outfielder, takes just a bit outside 2-0. That looked pretty good, but called a ball 3-0. And he's not happy. Yeah, you're working from behind on the count. That's a pitch you need to get yourself back into it. Ends up walking him.
Well, 2021 season ticket plans are now on sale and begin with ball games in May. Plans begin with just 16 games and include exclusive seating, discount options, priority exchange, and many other perks. If you would like information, call 216-420-HITS or visit Indians.com for the details.
After retiring 6 in a row, the walk to Benintendi keeps the inning alive for Carlos Santana. And after the walk, Bieber took the ball back from Roberto Perez. He walked off the mound. You can almost tell, look, I've got to let that go. He wasn't happy, thought he got squeezed on the 2-0 pitch. Almost like, all right, reset, because if you come into it at bat against Carlos Santana still thinking about the last guy, by the time you realize you've made a mistake, the ball's in the seat somewhere.
Well, that's right. You got to bear down and get out of it. Hey, look, Benintendi is, what was he, 6 for 10 against him. So he knew it. He didn't want to give in. You know, you missed, so that's good. Gather yourself. Lock back in. See Perez keeping an eye on Benintendi down with that lead at first to see if he's looking in. Good pitch.
And it's 0-2. Now, that doesn't mean anything with Santana because we've seen 0-2 to 3-2 so many times in his career.
Yeah, but here's my thought with Benintendi on first base. You know, maybe is Bieber going to try and throw a breaking ball? They may send him. Try and steal a base. If you don't, you get Carlos leading off the next inning if he's caught. But you could throw out. There you go. They're thinking along the same lines, which is I like it. And if you think he may run, not only do you throw over, you just go with a high fastball up and out of the zone and an easy pitch for Perez to throw on. Not that Benintendi is a great base stealer, but you can't doze off on him.
Matheny, I'm sure, well aware after seeing the Indians now how good they are at not allowing base stealers.
Exactly.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out on 3 pitches. And Shane Bieber has fanned a half dozen through 3. It's baby Aaron's first big league ball game. Watching the Tribe and the Royals on a gorgeous afternoon here in downtown Cleveland. Roberto Perez to lead off for the Tribe. Then it's Andres Jimenez and Ben Gamel back to the top of the order. Jacob Junis, the opener for today's game. Brad Keller was originally slated to start. They bumped him back, so they are approaching this as a bullpen game. But Junis has gone through the Indians so quickly in the first 2 innings on just 20 pitches that he's back out here again now for the 3rd.
Yeah, they didn't know what to expect, but when you go out there and you throw strikes like he has done, you work quickly. Go a little bit longer than maybe they anticipated.
A lot of sliders here at the outset from Junis. Looked like Perez wanted it right there. Ahead in the count, why not? Dipped low. Up high, the appeal, he did not go. Full count. Boy, Junis upset. He thought he went around.
Well, take a look at it from the side, and he might be right.
Now I see why.
Yeah, he got no help. They must not be calling that this year.
And the payoff. Backed up on him. Ball 4.
Yeah, he's upset with himself. He thought he had him, which he probably did. But he will give up a leadoff walk. You can see Junis slider 46% of the time. That's even more than his four-seamer. So that's his money pitch. The four-seamer likes to try and throw it in and sink it. He's more of a like a sinker slider guy. And then the changeup is be lucky if you see a couple.
Did you guys talk about this being a bullpen game? You
Yes.
know, the Royals, because their starting pitcher pitching had such tough problems in that first series against the Rangers, Carlos Hernandez and Kyle Zimmer have already gone multiple innings.
To first. Santana steps on the bag, and now they've got Roberto in a rundown, and that's not going to turn out well for the Tribe. 2 down.
Well, a good play. See, Santana didn't get rid of it until he saw that Perez was going to commit. I'll tell you, Carlos has really developed into a good first baseman. Step on first now. And that was a good job by Perez, thinking, well, if I get any farther, I'm dead. He was hoping that he threw the ball.
That's interesting. That went 3-6-1. You don't see the pitcher jump in there.
But he was upset. He let him on first base, so he wanted to get him out.
So 2 down, bases empty. Back to the top of the order. Here's Ben Gamble.
Indians have hit into 6 double plays so far this year.
And here's the pitch. It's a breaking ball in there for a strike. Really slowed down that slider. Looks like he's calling for a changeup. There's one of those rare pitches outside. 1-1. Looked like the cut fastball. Out of play. Two balls, 2 strikes. Bases empty. Bottom of the 3rd. No score on a sunny day at Progressive Field. Shane Bieber has already punched out 6 Royals in 3 innings. Got one there, but fouled it back. One thing about Junis, Rick, it looks like sinker, slider, cutter, not many straight. Everything's got maybe a little bit of movement on it.
Yeah, but at 91, they're fouling off a lot of pitches up in the zone. So maybe it does have a lot of movement. It's tough to see. He went from a changeup to a slider, and that's his comfort zone.
Locked him up top of the zone. 3rd K for Junis.
You can choose Fridays, Saturdays, or Sundays, or you can build your own 6-pack to fit your schedule. Go to Indians.com for full details.
Salvador Perez walked his first time up. And he wraps one to deep center field. Back is Gamble looking up, and it is gone. It disappears into the trees, and the Royals take the lead 1-0. Second home run of the year for Perez, and his 4th run driven in.
Well, second home run given up by Bieber, and you remember he chased a breaking ball in that first at bat on a 1-0 count, but this one stayed up a little bit, and Selby was waiting for it. And remember, he swung at the 3-1, and you say, why would you swing at that? Well, this one stayed up, and it was a little off the plate, but he was able to get to it. He went straight away central with it, and Kansas City takes a 1-0 lead.
Now Jorge Soler looks at a breaking ball for strike 1. Smokes the fastball foul. Lifts one high in the air. Naylor in right field puts it away, and Soler hitless in his last 11 at bats.
Let's see the breaking ball. It's going to be just off the outside edge, but it stayed probably mid-thigh, and he gets good extension on it. You can see Gamble going back, and it's not coming back into the trees out there in the batter's eye.
And here's Hunter Dozier.
Well, you know, when you hang one, you leave it middle of the plate. Those of you have a tendency to go to left center field, but he earned it. He went straight away central to get that home run.
And as we said, it's a warm day. Ball definitely going to carry better than we've seen it so far. 2 down. Kyle Isbell called out on strikes his first time up. There's that curveball. First pitch strike. Isbell got worked over his first time up.
Yeah, he did. He might have been at that site last year, but he didn't see a breaking ball like Bieber's down there, I'll guarantee it.
He's seen 2 curveballs. Does he go back to the fastball?
No. All right, whatever. He shook him off. I didn't think so.
Yeah, he wanted to come back with it.
Why not? See if he chases it. I think Roberto might have put down the fastball, but he said, Now they're coming back with the heater. Unless he changed it.
Slowed it down again, but Isbell able to stay alive. Breaking ball, got him. Stayed right with it. 7 strikeouts for Bieber, but the Royals get on the board first. Inning. And it's Cesar Hernandez, Jose Ramirez, Eddie Rosario. And Jacob Junis pitching into the 4th inning with the bullpen still quiet for KC. He has only needed 35 pitches through the first 3 innings.
I see some rumbling going around. Guys starting to maneuver out in that Kansas City bullpen because, you know, expected 3. He's taking them into the 4th. But he's been brilliant, man. He's only given up 1 hit. It was a 2-out single of Josh Naylor. He has been getting some deeper counts.
Wastes the fastball up and away.
Guys, he may be working his way into the rotation with the problems they've had the first time through. This is one of the best starts they've had so far, other than on Monday. But I was mentioning this earlier. You expect Carlos Hernandez, Kyle Zimmer, and Jake Brentz as their only lefty in the bullpen. Guys, he gets it up to 99 to 100 miles an hour.
Cesar Hernandez goes down swinging. That's 4 Ks for Junis. One down here in the 4th inning.
Well, he just goes with a fastball. 4-seamer up there, just a hair above the belt. One thing for Junis, he has 6 outs on 3 pitches or less, so he's been ahead of the hitters, which is a good thing for him.
And Jose Ramirez struck out his first time up. Swats one deep center. Taylor back on to the track. Pulls it down 2 away. And the injury report brought to you by the attorneys at Elk & Elk. Adalberto Mondesi on the injured list with an oblique strain.
You know, it seems like something happens to Mondesi every year. I mean, he's a very talented young player. Shortstop with a great arm, switch hitter. He can run, he can hit for power, but he ends up on that DL a lot. IL, I should say.
Eddie Rosario. Fly to center, his only time up in the 2nd. And a towering pop to right. In comes Isbell. And Jacob Junis flies through the 4th. Indians baseball brought to you by the injury lawyers at Elk & Elk. Proud partners of the Cleveland Indians. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. 5th inning. Kansas City with a 1-0 lead. Shane Bieber has Michael Taylor to lead it off. Ground out his only time up. It's after that first pitch slider, and it's a strike. He swings through it. When Taylor was drafted out of high school by the Washington Nationals, he was a 6'4" shortstop. Spent his first year professionally at the shortstop position before. Like yourself, they sent him to the outfield.
Well, he's a good outfielder. And in that ballpark in Kansas City, you better be, because it's a lot of ground to cover.
Archie did something in the first game as a Royal that has never happened by an outfielder by the Royals. He threw 2 guys out at the plate in that 5-run first inning of their first game.
No kidding.
Yeah, never has happened in Royals history.
8th strikeout for Bieber. Mid-game recap brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. Bieber struck out 2 in the first, 1 on the second, struck out 3 in the third. Finished the 4th with a strikeout after the solo home run by Salvador Perez, accounting for the game's only run. And now opens the 5th with his 8th strikeout. And Nicky Lopez takes up high ball 1.
And he has had 8 0-2 1-2 counts. So he has been ahead. He's been dealing. We say that all the time with Bieber. He had the 1-3-0 count that he ended up walking Perez. No, I'm sorry, it was Benintendi on the 3-0 count. He walked Perez back in the first.
Misses again in this same at bat with a fastball high. 3-0. How about that? 4 straight. 3rd walk issued by Bieber.
For Kansas City, now at bat, number 15, Whit Merrifield.
We'll go back to the top of the order and Whit Merrifield.
Oh.
14 straight games, punching out 8 or more. Merrifield called out on strikes in the first and went down swinging in the third. Back out of play. This is where the game within the game gets really interesting, because we talked about Merrifield, one of the most proficient hitters, bat on ball players in the game today, against a guy who gets more swings and misses than probably anybody in the game. Third time head to head. Wow. He got him to chase one and puts him in the hole 0-2.
That the breaking ball really must be tough to pick the spin up on, because you know when you see good hitters just getting fooled and can't stay back, that's a rarity. So he was way out in front. He really slowed it down.
Bounced it, and Perez with a good block to keep that runner holding at first.
And you know, you look at Bieber, you talk about consistency. The first time through the lineup, he threw 34 pitches. He had 4 strikeouts. Second time through, 33 pitches, had 4 strikeouts.
He's only given up the 2 hits. One of them went over the fence for a home run.
This would be the guy, though. You look for a breaking ball down and away, and you may start your runner, because Merrifield can go that way.
He does. It's deep. Naylor is back and makes the catch. Back to first goes Lopez, 2 down. It's going to bring up Andrew Benintendi. Singled in the first, walked his last time up. Must have cracked his bat. Oh no, he needs a little extra grip. Out cold.
Little nap time.
Back to Way. Quick throw over, back with a dive, Lopez.
Change up. I
haven't seen many of those.
Well, because of the left-handed hitter. That's exactly what it was, is a changeup. You could see that ball moving away from him a little bit and had him out in front. A good pitch to the left-hander there. Keep an eye on first base. No.
Came back with a fastball and pumped it by him. 9 strikeouts for Shane Bieber. We are halfway through, and Kansas City leads it 1-0. In a 1-0 Kansas City lead. The Indians only hit a 2-out single by Josh Naylor, the on-deck man. That came in the second inning. Franmil Reyes will lead off, struck out his first time up in the second inning. Jacob Junis was scheduled to be the opener, a bullpen game. He's pitching into the 5th inning. 42 pitches under his belt. And he checked his swing, and he is mad at himself. And that seems to be a familiar theme with some of the hitters right now.
Well, Jonas has done what he's had to do. Get ahead in counts, throw strikes, make him put it in play. Walked 1, struck out 4. You mentioned about his slider, the cutter that he's incorporated into his game this year. He worked on it all offseason. They were trying to get him to throw one last year, and he never would.
Right.
But he brought it back into today's game. And
3 pitches, strikes out Reyes for his 5th K in the game. Spectrum Mobile replay, Jacob Junis slicing and dicing his way through the lineup.
Yeah, that's his bread and butter, that slider there. But there's a little cutter. He's moved it around, changed speeds. He's not overpowering, but the Indians still only have 1 hit, and it came with 2 outs. They haven't been able to get anything rolling early in an inning.
Josh Naylor hit the ball hard and singled to the left side of the infield his first time up. So in his last at bat, they had the shortstop Lopez shifted to the right side of second base, and Naylor singled right up the gut. This time they leave him on the left side. He pulls the ball, and there are 2 away.
Well, April tickets are now on sale for games against the Chicago White Sox and Minnesota Twins, and don't want to miss out on the New York Yankees series. That's a 4-game series towards the end of the month. So get your tickets at the Ballpark app, or you can go to Indians.com.
Just now, a reliever has grabbed a baseball in the Kansas City bullpen. Ten outs for Junis today on 3 pitches or less. Oh, just missed outside. So a full count. And he walks him. Only the 2nd walk issued today. Snaps a string of 7 straight set down by Junis, and that'll be the end of the line.
Well, I think they got much more out of him than they thought they were going to get today. You know, he gave him an opportunity, but he says, okay, 1-0 ball game. He's getting some knocks from his infielders. Matheny coming out. Or is he just talking to him? Is he going to give him a chance here? He hasn't. There it is. It's a nice walk out there and says, hey, you go right ahead. You've earned the chance to stay in here to try and get one more out.
I don't understand the walk. Explain to me why he goes out there right there.
Slow it down a little bit. Just settle it. He had a chance to get out of the inning. Matheny just giving him a little, pat on the back. I want you to finish this inning, and he may be done after this hitter. Who knows? But bullpen will be ready.
Roberto Perez takes a fastball call to strike.
It's also, he's worked so hard and given him a good start. If he can get this out, he's in line for a win. You don't want to pull him out of there when he's done so well and not give him a chance.
Pop foul out of play. And it's 0-2. That's going to go out of play. Well, I give Junis credit, at least to this point. He thought he was coming out of the game because the reaction when Matheny left the dugout, he was getting high fives from the other players who had come to the mound. And I think mentally he thought, okay, that's it, I'm done. And then, oh, I'm still in.
Yeah. I mean, usually when the manager goes out for the first time, you're coming out of the ball game, no doubt.
And he strikes him out to end the inning. A half dozen Ks for Jacob Junis, 5 shutout innings. Jacob Junis went 5 shutout innings, gave up 1 hit. Shane Bieber back to work here, 6th inning. Royals lead it 1-0. Carlos Santana 0 for 2 will lead it off. Center field. Gamble. 1 away. The only run of the afternoon. Salvador Perez, a breaking ball, jumped on it.
But boy, he had to earn it. I mean, straightaway center field over the 400-foot sign. That ball that I thought Santana just did was crushing. That still stayed into the grass. So he hit that ball a ton to give them their only run and the only one of the ball game. There's not much more the Indians pitching starters can do. You try and keep that team in a ball game. They have done that each and every day.
There may have been a few in Kansas City, especially that were surprised that Kansas City committed 4 years and over $80 million to Salvador Perez at 30 years old, given that the youth movement is clearly underway for the Royals. But the flip side of that is when you've got a young pitching staff, what better way to get them through this early part of their career than have a veteran established catcher?
No question.
Up the ladder, Bieber strikes him out. Man, that's number 10. Here's our Home Depot getting more things done. Jorge Soler, since coming over to the American League, 57 home runs.
Yeah, and I bet that would be probably the name that you wouldn't think of, the most that's in that top 5. You know, Trout would be up there. Yeah, you make your pitches to this guy, Jorge Soler, you got a chance. He can swing and miss, and you can strike him out, but you make mistakes. And he gets in one of those streaks like power hitters get into, where everything you seem to throw, he just murders. He can get hot, too.
Upstairs. Struck him out looking. Give Bieber 11 strikeouts here this afternoon. 17 times in his career he's punched out 10 or more. Bullpen has been made by Mike Matheny, and Jesse Hahn will come on to pitch now for the Royals. Hahn got the save in the home opener on Monday. He allowed a walk and a hit, but then got a double play to get out of that 9th inning and secure the win for Kansas City.
Yeah, and you know, they like this guy because he can get left-handed hitters out. He has success against them. They're just 1 for 6 on the year. So he's coming on to, you know, it's the left-handed part of the lineup.
Tell you what, this is maybe where Kansas City could make some real positive gains in this year if their bullpen holds. So far, their bullpen has been great. They've given up 3 runs from the 6th inning on in the first 4 games of the season.
So true. I mean, they have some of their veterans from years past, but still, you got to go out and you got to perform. But I mean, that's the thing. You knew Kansas City. They've made some nice moves to get some offense, but you're going to question the pitching of this ball club. But we're going to get a chance to see him all year long. It's only the 2nd game of 19 against Kansas City, and one thing right now. Jacob Jonas did everything and then some. Went his 5 innings, allowed 1 hit, and in the opening game it was Danny Duffy going 6 and allowed 2 hits.
Andreas Jimenez bounced into a double play back in the 3rd inning. Indians have seen quite a bit of left-handed pitching here in the early going, so we haven't seen as much of Jimenez.
Well, and the Kansas City staff only has the 1 left-hander coming out of the bullpen, Jake Brentz.
Smoke down the right field line. Wow, foul by not more than maybe a foot or so.
Well, that's the best swing of the day.
That's the first hard hit ball of the day, probably, that I can remember.
And you'll see, he had a nice 3-1 count. So this is how you should put a swing on a 3-1 pitch. You hit it.
Help us out here. You talked about Hahn. I know Matt said Hahn's very good against lefties. Is that where KC can get away with having the other lefty in the bullpen? Because, you know, Tito said before the game he made his lineup the way he did because they don't have lefties.
Right. I don't know, because I haven't seen Hahn enough to know if he's that good at getting lefties out.
What a job of hitting by Jimenez. You know how many times you see a guy miss one foul by inches and you don't get another chance. He got another one and kept this one fair and smoked it.
Well, it's the first time they've had a leadoff man aboard today. See if they can take advantage of it.
That's only their 4th base runner. And out back to the top of the order, and Ben Gamble 0 for 2. 1-0, Kansas City leads it. One ball, one strike. Royals play him straight up on the infield. Double play depth. Outfield as well. Straight away. Well, high with the fastball. Count 2-1. Right back up the middle, but it's right into the tracks of Lopez. To Merrifield, to Santana. They only get one. Gamble hustling down the line, beats it out. One away.
Well, Merrifield took a little bit hesitation. He chose to get the ball and run over the bag and wasn't planted to where he could make a strong throw. You see, he was getting there. Lopez had a tough time getting it out of the glove, so he had to throw it off his back foot. So, and that enabled him to beat that ball out. They're not going to be able to challenge that.
So 1 on, 1 out for Cesar Hernandez, who is 0 for 2 today. Tried to slash it the other way, but it's foul. And that's going to keep Andrew Benintendi in left over there near the line after watching that swing from Cesar. Hits are even at 2 apiece. Bottom of the 6th, 1-0 Royals. You know, when I asked Terry Francona towards the end of spring training or right at the start of the season about who he liked in this lineup with the ability to maybe put a play on here and there, he said Andrés Giménez was probably their best guy to handle the bat, be able to put a runner in motion, hit the hole. This is probably the second best option right here, Cesar Hernandez.
Right. But the one thing you don't want to do with this guy, you know, he's sitting second in the line. You don't want to give up an out. If you're trying to hit and run and you're losing, you got to hopefully he hits the gap because he led the league in doubles last year with 20. You got to hope he finds a gap out there and let Gamble run.
Well, he's in the hole here, 1-2. Scott Barlow getting loose. He also pitched in Monday's game here in Cleveland. In fact, it was Barlow and Hahn were the only two relievers the Royals needed. Lights off the slow curve.
Well, he had the curveball. He went to back foot slider on the last one like that. He's fouled off, but that's what makes Hernandez a tough out. He has a knack of, you know, just fouling off some pretty good pitches to stay alive and live for another pitch. You know, and hopefully the more pitches he makes, the better chance he has of making a mistake.
Ground ball to third. Nice grab by Dozier. Goes to second for one. They do not turn the double play. But that's a nice pick by Dozier. And a good steady throw to get the lead runner.
Yeah, that was a tough angle. You could see he had a tough time. He did field it cleanly, but he didn't look very comfortable doing it because the left-handed bat, it gets on you quickly. Sometimes day games you don't pick it up, and it was sort of an in-between hop, but he hung in there. You notice what happened? His glove was going down to the ground instead of coming up. But when he was ranging to his left, it made it a little more difficult for him. But they get the second out.
And now Jose Ramirez 0 for 2. He did hit the ball well his last time up. But it died on the warning track. Smokes this one down the line, but he's out in front of it. Foul. Had plenty of distance to get out of here, but it's just a long strike.
Well, there's the breaking ball, and he was waiting for it. He got down and into the wheelhouse, and he's saying, please stay fair, but it's not close. That's an error on the fan right there for the first one of the season.
He got a high drive, deep right field. Isbell's back. He's out of room. It's out of here. And the Indians take the lead. Their first home run of the season is a game changer, and Ramirez puts the Tribe in front for the first time at home this year.
Well, you talk about double plays not being turned. They had an opportunity to turn two. They couldn't do it, and it gives Ramirez an opportunity to come to the plate with 2 outs, and he does the damage. Posey's first home run of the year couldn't have come at a better time.
Not only that, Rick, not turning the double play, but how about twice in this inning? A ball smoked down the line, just foul, and both hitters come back on the next pitch and keep them fair. One gets out of here for a home run.
Beautiful.
Now Eddie Rosario way out in front.
That was like
that looked like a fastball that he just smoked.
It almost looked like a cutter. It didn't look. I didn't know if it had the spin on it or what. Well, he felt he was waiting for his breaking ball on the first pitch, and guess what? He'd rather have the heater. He was able to. He hit that one foul. The fastball hard enough for him. He smoked it and got underneath it. That had some hang time to it.
2-1 Cleveland now. Eddie Rosario with a 1-1 count. He lays off a pitch. It wasn't that last pitch was too high. It's that it was outside. I don't think there is a pitch too high for Rosario. Out of play. Now the 2-2. Pulls it foul. Smacked that one high in the air, deep left field. Pacas Benintendi on the track and makes the grab just in front of the wall to end the inning. Jose Ramirez just missed one down the line. Foul. Give me another chance. 2-run dinger. Cleveland Indians baseball brought to you by Wendy's. A breakfast so good you'll want to tell somebody about it. And by KeyBank. Oh, easy, Dad, easy.
No, that's where you got to put the mask on him when he's crying.
All right, are we going?
2-1. Cleveland leads it, 7th inning. Shane Bieber has punched out 11 Royals. And Hunter Dozier to lead it off. 0 for 2 takes, and it's outside, ball 1.
Matt, that kid knows exactly how we feel during lunch every day with Arch.
Well, we'll lock our door. You stay down in your pit and we'll stay. We'll talk about
You're locking me out already?
Yes.
I thought you were going to say that kid resembled me when I was trying to scoop the ice cream with a plastic spoon today.
Scoop, there it is.
And
Didn't go well.
That's
shattered in my hand and in the ice cream.
And it was chocolate latte, chocolate latte, chocolate latte.
Sprinkles.
No, plastic shards.
Yeah, I didn't. I had a cup. I'm
Did
hoping I didn't get any.
Did you get some of those? No.
It was good stuff, man.
I've been telling you guys for years that plastic silverware doesn't make it. That's why I carry my own silverware.
You have
my
complained
bag.
about that for years.
I mean, yeah, I have, and now you're finally starting to realize it.
Matt, do you remember the name of that ice cream that we had?
Doing, gone.
Yes. Pretty tasty.
New official ice cream of the Cleveland Indians.
Well, now I know why you left. There wasn't any. You took the thing down there with you in your own pit.
See, that will lock you out. How about that?
That's beautiful.
Do you have a little stake in that Perry's from Buffalo that's going to be the ice cream here at the ballpark this summer?
But I'll find out if any of my boys are there.
Swing and a miss. Down goes Dozier. A dozen Ks for Shane Bieber.
He just keeps right on rolling, man. That slider comes back, and Shane knows he has to be pumped after getting 2 runs in the top half of that inning. He says, all right, man, my job is to go out there now and just give me 3 outs, give him a 0, and get my offense back in there. 17th career game, 10 or more strikeouts, 10th since the start of last year.
Oh, down and in. Kyle Isbell, who has struck out twice today, over the top.
Well, these young men say, gosh, I didn't realize they have breaking balls like this up here.
And a fastball right there, but he's probably got him so crossed up mentally right now.
Yeah, he's shown a steady diet of breaking balls. His strength is the fastball, and you take the pitch you want to hit.
Face a guy like Shane Bieber when he's at the top of his game, make you question whether you chose the right line of work or not.
Well, you always want to face the best if you're young and coming up to the big leagues, and he's getting a chance to look at the best, in my opinion, today.
Big curveball, and it didn't miss by much. 2-2. Bieber nearing the end of the line. And a full count. And he draws a walk, so give a lot of credit to Isbell, who looked overmatched early in the at-bat, has struck out twice today, but patiently works a walk, and a tying run aboard for Kansas City now here in the 7th inning. Bullpen now just getting busy. James Karinchak about to heat it up. Michael Taylor has grounded out, struck out today. In the air, deep down the line, slicing, out of play, foul.
Well, I'll tell you what, the ball went off the bat pretty well. It was slicing down the line. Don't know if it would have had the distance, but it was enough to make your heart flutter a little bit.
Almost chased after it, but did not go. 1-1. And out. Bieber takes the upper hand. The ball and 2 strikes. I mean, it's just really impressive, Rick, to watch Bieber with equal accuracy throw fastballs, sliders, curveballs.
Pitches with purpose is how he pitches, because when he gets ahead, you know, that's how he gets so many strikeouts. He can just move it off 3 or 4 inches one way or to the other side of the plate, and that's why he just messes with hitters' heads.
Down in the dirt. Curious to see how long the leash is, given that it's so early in the season. He just crossed that 100 pitch threshold.
He's good for this inning. He can get through it. You're at the bottom part of the lineup. Let's come back with that slider.
Gonna stay with it. That one got too much of the plate, and Taylor, to his credit, turned it around. And now the Royals have 2 on with 1 out. And here comes Tito. That'll be the end of the line for Shane Bieber. Watch this one kind of back up on him. They want it down and away.
Yeah, it stayed middle of the plate. He took advantage of it, and he's tired. But what a job for Bieber. Another 12 strikeout game.
6 in the third, 103 pitches, 12 Ks, 4 walks. He leaves with the lead to a nice ovation here in Cleveland. Check on the pitch for Cleveland here. 2 on, 1 out, 7th inning. You're kind of getting into the scenario that Terry Francona alluded to back in spring training when people were pestering him about, well, who's the closer, who's the 7th, who's the 8th, saying that we're going to take each game and look at it like who gives us our best option and what is the situation. He obviously wants a guy that can get swings and misses. Goes to Karinchak right here with 2 on and 1 out. And Lopez promptly singles into right field. Around third, Isbell going to be waved home. Naylor's throw over everybody's head, backed up nicely by Karinchak. So the tying run scores, but Taylor held at second base. So Nicky Lopez delivers. And so much for the whole swing and miss theory. That went right out the window on the first pitch.
Well, they didn't waste any time. They jump on his first heater. They're not going to spot him. He went 96 just to get it in the zone. And Lopez was ready. Put a nice short swing on it. And he drives in the run. The throw from Naylor out in right field, way off line. Lucky that Karinchak was back there backing it up, or both runners would have moved up.
2-2 ball game now.
So,
and now Whit Merrifield 0 for 3. Has struck out twice. Flied to deep right his last time up. That was against Bieber, now facing Karinchak. This is about as worst case scenario as you can get.
Well, he's missed with the 2 off-speed pitches now. So, you know, that first fastball he threw got hit. I would think he's got to throw that fastball again here in a situation. You don't want to fall behind 3, you know, when he hasn't thrown that hook yet for a strike.
Royals' best hitter at the plate. 2 on, go-ahead run in scoring position. And you're behind him 2-0.
Came back with a 2-0 hook, but he threw this one for a strike. It was not going to give in a 2-0 fastball to Merrifield.
There's a blazer off the outside edge. Merrifield doesn't think so. And it's 2-2. And a foul back. He went up and out of the strike zone to get a piece of that. That shows you that though his approach is so short to the ball that he can get up at 97 and just flick that foul away.
That's about the only way. You see how short that swing was? But that was protection, because that's where his curveball starts out too. So you got to look up there when you see it's a heater. It's just a protect swing. He does not want to take a called third with runners in scoring position. He wants to put it in play. This is where good things happen, when you put it in play.
2-2.
There you go. He went from one extreme to the other. From 97 up and out of the zone to follow it up to just a little, you know, nubber right down in front of the plate to get it. I mean, right off the end of the bat.
97 to 84.
And that's how good hitters survive in this league, where, you know, they hang on to at-bats a little longer than a lot of other guys possibly can.
In the air, right field, routine pop here. Naylor, although he is fighting the sun. And he hangs on. 2 away. And Andrew Benintendi coming to the plate. Has singled, walked, and struck out today. Pumped it by him. Now that's pretty much the same pitch that he threw to Lopez. But Lopez was ready for it. As Rick said, he jumped on it and singled to tie the game. And he got up to that fastball, but fouls it straight back. And the count 1-2.
Getting up to it is one thing, but you know, making sure you stay on top is another.
Time call. Benintendi, a former first-round pick of the Red Sox back in 15. Came to the Royals in the off-season in a 3-team trade between the Red Sox, Mets, and the Royals. 2 on, 2 out, 2-2 game. 1-2 pitch. Spun him out. Benintendi faced the Indians back in the 2016 postseason as a rookie. Ground ball. Fielded cleanly by Cesar Hernandez, and the inning is over. But the Royals come back and tie the game. Stretch time in Cleveland, 2-2.
Al Pulowski with you for the Ganley Subaru update. The Cincinnati Reds, they break them up. 11 runs today. Tyler Naquin leads it off for the Reds with an opposite field home run. That's his 3rd home run for Cincinnati. He's 1 for 5 today. It was 11-0. Pirates have scored 4 in the 9th, but I think the Reds have this one pretty comfortably in hand. 11-4, 9th inning down in Cincinnati. Matt and Rick, back to you.
Thanks, Al. Scott Barlow coming on for KC. In relief of Jesse Hahn, who gave up the lead. But then the Royals answer back to tie it. Now Barlow on for the 3rd time this year, facing Franmil Reyes, Josh Naylor, and Jake Bowers. Barlow went 2 scoreless innings, retiring all 6 that he faced on Monday. Franmil has struck out twice today. That's fouled out of play to the right. The Indians, as a team now, have hit 7 home runs this year. 6 home runs, excuse me. 6 home runs. 5 of them have come off the relief corps of their opposition.
They're going to try and get something rolling late in this game. Big 2-out home run by Ramirez to give him the lead.
Just a bit outside, not by much. Good take there by Franmil.
Yeah, little down, little away. It was close. That's a teaser pitch. That's a tough one to lay off as a hitter, especially when he's gone after it a couple times today. But
now full count.
Yeah, now he's got the count full. Junis walked 2. They've had 2 walks in the game. Only 3 hits in the ball game. So not a lot of base runners. But they were able to score when they had their leadoff man aboard last inning.
And the payoff. Struck him out. Well, he wasn't able to stay patient.
Yeah,
you know, he was early, or I should say not early, but in the previous 2 pitches, he laid off.
If you can take that pitch 1-2, you have to take that pitch 3-2, because that was a pitch that was farther outside and away than the pitch that he took, you know, with the good take. But hitters, they have a tendency, they get to 3-2 for some reason. They think that pitcher's going to throw him a strike, and they commit, and he did right there. So he goes down for the 3rd time this afternoon.
And Josh Naylor singled back in the 2nd inning. Down and in. Josh Naylor became the first player in baseball history to collect a hit in each of his first 5 postseason plate appearances last year. You don't see him take many strikes. He's an aggressive guy.
Yeah, a lot of young hitters are. They want to attack the baseball.
Line drive and a base hit right center field. Michael Taylor over to cut it off. And Josh will have to hold. Slipped a little bit. He will scamper back to the bag in time.
I like the aggressiveness there, rounding first, thinking second all the way. But give Taylor credit. He got to that ball in a hurry and got it in quickly. The only reason why it wasn't on line, watch, his foot will slip. But I like the way you come out of the box, because you're thinking double all the way. With 1 out, get yourself in scoring position and make that outfielder stop you. He does just that. He spiked that ball because he slipped. But here you go. As a base runner, think 2. If he makes a good play, get back to first. No harm done, just good hustle right there.
So the go-ahead run aboard, and here's Jake Bowers, who walked his last time up. Three on the right side of the infield for Kansas City. And that off-speed pitch catches the bottom of the strike zone. Even the count at 1-1. You know, going back to Naylor, and that's one of the things I love about him in particular in this situation. He forces the third base coach to stop him because he's going to put his head down and he's going to go. If you get a ball in the gap, you know, if it's off the bat and he's in the box, he's going full throttle. There's no easing into any base for him.
That's all any coach wants. If you're a first or a third base coach, just give me the same effort every single day you're out there. That way they know your speed. They know how you run the bases. It's easier for them to make decisions for you until you learn the game up here and know the arms and things like that. They can help you up prior to that, but you have to learn your own game, but you got to be consistent doing it. So the coaches will tell you, I love to see what guys hustle. Don't think one base, think two.
And obviously there's a difference between, you know, running with reckless abandon and just being purely aggressive and, you know, by nature.
Matt, they had to have that talk, though, with him in spring training. That hard stop coming around first base. He rolled his ankle in Arizona where the ground was a little hard. And Tito said, we love how you run, but you got to be careful that you don't end up hurting yourself trying to stop and go the way that you do.
Yeah. Well, you'd rather tell a guy to back off than have to get on him for not running.
And I think that's what they love about him.
Broke his bat. This might get down, and it will. Naylor's going to hit the bag and jam on the brakes. He had to make sure that was going to carry over the head of Whit Merrifield, and because of the way that ball came off the bat, it was probably hard to tell down there at ground level. I mean, it really carried well out into the outfield grass, but you see that bat break, and you're probably thinking, uh-oh. Is it going to carry or is it going to die?
No, it died, but it was going to definitely be. See, that's, again, all part of base running in that situation is knowing where the players are playing. You knew that ball was going to drop because Merrifield wasn't going to get there, and the outfield's going to be maybe a little bit deeper. You just have to know where everybody is at that same time.
Royals going to take a little time as they get the bullpen up. I think that's the big gun, Greg Holland. Yeah. Just now grabbed a baseball with Barlow in trouble with 2 on 1 out and Roberto Perez coming to the plate. The veteran Perez. Now have to talk to Barlow about how to deal with Roberto Perez, who walked in the third, struck out his last time up. Backed up on the slider, but it's in there for strike one. Chased a slow curveball. And now he's in the hole. 0-2.
Both hits coming with 2 strikes in this inning for the Indians. They had one with 2 strikes through the first 6.
Put the bat on it, but it's fouled back.
Yeah, and that was a show fastball after starting him off, slowing the bat down early. He's actually looking for a double play ball. He'd like to get Roberto to hit it on the ground, but that's why they've got the 3 guys over there. If he hits it to the right side, there's a good chance, and it's in their way. Oh, Santana's all the way off, guarding the hole.
Called third, rung him up. Roberto, you can hear him say that was off the plate, at least in his estimation.
Well, let's see. No, he was calling that today. Bieber got that pitch a number of times. That's just a perfect pitch by Barlow. And a good pitch for the second out.
Andres Jimenez. He singled into right field. Smash his last time up. Hit the ball hard his first time up, but it resulted in a double play back in the 3rd inning. Naylor the go-ahead run, second base. Jake Bauers down at first. And that's a fastball away. Evens things back up. Jimenez came to Cleveland in January with a trade with the Mets and sent Lindor to New York. Way out in front, 2-2.
He's had the good breaking ball. Been able to control it, slow it down, and take the Indians hitters off of it.
Down in the dirt. So full count. And that'll give everybody a running start. Swing and a miss. He struck him out to end the inning. So Barlow gives up 2 hits but strikes out 3. We go to the 8th, deadlocked at 2. Copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. Emmanuel Clase, the new pitcher for Cleveland. Clase will have the middle of the order for Kansas City. His second appearance on the year. This guy has a big arm. And easy, if there is such a thing, an easy 100 miles an hour. Carlos Santana 0 for 3 this afternoon. Weekly topped to short. Recap our storylines right now, brought to you by Arby's. Shane Bieber with a dozen strikeouts for the second game in a row to start the year. Incredible. Seems like every time he goes out and pitches, there's a note like the one on the bottom of the screen.
I know it. Yeah, it's like nonstop. You're right. It doesn't quit. It just keeps on coming.
Salvador Perez takes ball 1.
Well, this guy gave Kansas City the early lead with a solo home run off Bieber. It's a breaking ball out over the plate that he hit to straightaway center for a 1-0 lead. That held to the 6th.
And for all of the fanfare, and rightfully so, about a guy that throws 100 miles an hour and up, that's what makes him an effective reliever, that he can throw that slider. Because as a hitter, you have to respect that triple-digit pitch.
Well, yes, if it's on and he's located, you may not have a chance to get a hit, but like that, you can't get on top of that. You have to respect that. And I mean, that's why you'll see a lot of guys go up there and try and swing early on him, because they want to at least put the fastball in play. It's not that you're sitting there doing damage. You're just trying to put it in play, and so you don't embarrass yourself. And he doesn't have a chance to strike you out. Is he going to come back with another hook here?
Yes, but it's in the dirt, and Perez lays off. Got him. Breaking ball. 2 down.
Yeah, that is a 90-mile-an-hour slider. And was that a curveball earlier? Because this one was a little tighter and didn't have the big hump to it, but it was an effective pitch at 90 miles an hour. It was a little slider away. So it gets the strikeout.
And with 2 down, Jorge Soler to the plate, 0 for 3. Not many of us have ever had the privilege or maybe the misfortune of staring down the barrel at 100 miles an hour at home plate. You've been there. Is it true what they say? Does it slow down if you see enough pitches at that speed to where?
No, you don't have much time. It never slows down. No, you just choke up and you try and see. You tell yourself stay short, because the less time you don't have as much time, and believe me, once you get at 95 or above, it makes a huge difference, because
each increase is incremental.
It really is, because it's on you. You just don't have the time. Half the time, if you swing, you just hope he hits your bat. Hitters can tell you that, oh yeah, we can see it. Yeah, no, you don't have time to do anything. You just hope he makes a mistake with it and you can put it in play.
2-strike pitch. Well, he did well to get a piece at 100.
And when you get a pitch like that might be hittable, hit it, because you may only get the one in an at bat that's going to get a portion of the plate, or a good portion of it.
The reason I ask you that is because I've heard the analogy from other players who've said it's kind of like driving fast in a car. The first time you're like, oh my gosh, everything's moving so fast. But after a while, everything seems to not slow down, but you get used to it.
Well, every pitcher's different. Some guys, it's tough picking up the ball, and if you're throwing at 95, it can look like it's 100. There's other guys that can throw 100, but you pick up the ball quicker and you feel more comfortable. So it's all not the same. You know what I'm saying? It all depends on if they hide the ball, if you're picking it up quicker. Some guys might be able to pick it up because with Class A, he missed all last year, but here's a guy that you would think would strike out more guys with the arm he has, and you're going to say, why doesn't he? Because he's got unhittable stuff.
I go back to what you said earlier, though, 2-2. Some guys maybe swing early because I don't want to get embarrassed, and maybe he doesn't get as many strikeouts because people
put it in play.
Tap
That's
one
fine.
weekly in play.
That's my whole motto. Give me outs on 3 pitches or less. You can stay in the ball game longer. But now these guys are specialists coming out of the bullpen where they're only going to go 1 inning. They're going to go 3 hitters, and they're going to go, all out.
Well, Soler putting up a good at bat, fighting him tooth and nail. The 2-2. He reared back.
See, now he's trying to run him inside and sink it and cut it. Just go at him with 101 and elevate it. He's not going to get it. But the difference between the bullpen guy, you don't get to see him as much. A starter, if you go like Bieber and you go 3 times through the lineup, that's some rarity. And then you know what his fastball does, but he's so sharp. That's why he keeps striking out more guys. There it is.
Took something off and strikes him out. He gets a pair via the K here in the 8th. We stay deadlocked at 2. 2-2 ball game as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Angel Gray, who has attempted to teach Andre Knott everything she knows about being a sideline reporter.
I'm not going to say one bad thing about Angel. She had a choice between golfing or baseball today. She told me she was coming to the ballpark to come to an Indians game.
She does a great job on the Cavaliers coverage on Fox Sports or Bally Sports Ohio.
Get it right.
That's one.
She told me to say Bally.
Tommy,
put $1 in the jar.
Keep that list.
Put $1 in the swear jar.
Cavaliers on TV tomorrow night versus the Thunder.
Oh, look at you. Check your local listings.
That's hard for me. But it'll be on 8 o'clock. Angel and the crew will have you tomorrow night.
J. Mike, AC, and the gang. Here's Greg Holland's second appearance of the year. And he's got the top of the order. And that's outside. Hamill ground out, strikeout, bounced into a fielder's choice in the 6th. And a leadoff walk. Go ahead, run aboard. That's only the 3rd walk issued by Royals pitching here this afternoon. Cesar wanted a bunt. He pulled it back at the last moment, and that glanced back toward the on-deck circle where Jose Ramirez was standing there and almost picked him off.
Quick question, gentlemen. With Ramirez on deck, if you were to bunt, would the Royals even pitch to him? Isn't this the conversation we've been having all spring long?
I wouldn't think so.
Right.
There wouldn't be any reason to. way out in front of it. And Cesar in the hole 0-2. And you know, sometimes you have said in the past that if a guy's showing bunt, it may just tell you that he's just not feeling it right now. And Cesar, you know, 0 for his last 10 at the plate. I know it's early in the season, but you know, for whatever reason right now, maybe just not feeling as good.
Well, you know what, though? He can bring in the guys at the corners because he is capable of laying a bunt down. Not that he's necessarily going to do it. Right.
Yeah.
You know, but now he's got a battle because he fell behind and he walked Gamble. So he's just going to try and put it in play. But this is the veteran. This guy, I mean, he can get wild and he can walk the bases loaded and find a way to get out of it. But once he tightens it up, but he's a tough guy to hit for left-handers.
Struck him out
because he has that splitter there, the breaking ball. He's been he gives left-handers fits his whole career.
Last time up, Jose Ramirez, 6th inning, drilled one deep down the line. It was just foul. And then on the next pitch, it stayed fair.
Yeah, he hit the breaking ball foul, and he came back with a fastball. And see you later. Look at the hang time on that. Almost 7 seconds. And to this point, biggest hit in the game for the Indians. Obviously, it gave them the lead, but they came right back and tied it up in the 7th.
Greg Holland for Kansas City is just one of those great stories of athletic persistence, perseverance, whatever term you want to throw in there. You know, 5'10", right-handed pitcher. Had some wonderful seasons with the Royals. 47 saves, 46 saves, 32 saves.
Yeah.
Then he blew that elbow out, had to come back from Tommy John surgery, went to Colorado, had 41 saves. Then, you know, Cardinals, Nationals, Diamondbacks, people were wondering, maybe he's kind of done. Goes back to Kansas City last year and had a 1.91 ERA in the shortened season.
Yeah, felt right back home again. You know, when they were going to the World Series, didn't he miss that year? First year they went because of arm surgery, ended up becoming a free agent, and then that started. He signed with somebody and they've been traveling, and he finally got back to where he's in a good place.
Yeah, I think he got hurt late in the 15 season. But I don't remember. Let me look here. Yeah, he did not pitch
right
in 2015 in the postseason.
Yeah, he was a bystander after getting him there, and they had that three-headed monster that year coming out of the bullpen, shortened a game to about 6 innings. Melvin Herrera, Wade Davis, who's back with him again this year.
Out of play. Bottom of the 8th inning. 1 down. Go ahead, run at first. And the 2-2 pitch to Ramirez. And now a full count.
Yeah, he's just showing Jose the fastball. I don't think he really wants to throw him one at all. I mean, that was one just to take him off of everything else. I don't know if it's going to be the changeup, that splitter, whatever he throws, but the bottom disappears on it, the one he got Hernandez with.
You know, it's interesting, too, because it's not like he's flipping it up there at 89 or 90. He's still got 94, 95 on that fastball.
Yes, he does.
3 on the right side of the infield for Kansas City. Outfield shading Ramirez, as you can see, a little bit to the right. Runner goes, Ramirez rips it, deep right field is Bell. He won't get it. The Indians back on top. His second two-run homer of the afternoon. And Jose Ramirez once again has rescued Cleveland.
Well, he came back with the slider here and paid. I mean, you talk about the difference in his home runs. That was a line shot, and it just got over and got out in a hurry. The hang time on that was less than half of what his first one was. But boy, the big man is back. Jose, happy to be home here.
And going back to Andre's point earlier, it's really maybe why, especially in a one-run game, where you wouldn't want somebody to bunt in front of Ramirez, because then you definitely don't have to pitch
take
to
the
him.
bat out of his hand.
One and one to count. Eddie Rosario 0 for 3 today. th time in the career of Jose Ramirez he's had 2 home runs. And there's going to be a base hit for Eddie. 1-out single for Rosario. Here comes Mike Matheny. Let's go back and take a look at the home run by Ramirez.
Yeah, there's a side swing, and just look at just a pretty swing. The slider coming into him. He can do some damage. And watch this one, just boom, right off the top of that, over the yellow line.
And the reaction of the fans here at Progressive Field, watching Ramirez wrap one into the cheap seats. And remember earlier, Rick, I mentioned to you, I thought it was odd for Mike Matheny to pay a visit in the 5th inning to the mound. The pitching coach is not with the ball club. Cal Eldred is not with the team.
Okay.
So that's why Matheny, when he's kind of doubling for the pitching coach, he didn't go out there necessarily earlier as the manager, but just as normally a pitching coach might go out and say, where are we at? Let's look at the situation. Right now, Franmil Reyes 0 for 3. Takes a called strike. He has fanned all 3 times today. In the dirt. And Reyes trying to keep the momentum alive for Cleveland. Topper. And the shortstop won't have a play. Lopez did all he could, but when that ball checked up on the ground, it took a right-hand turn on him.
Yeah, the spin on it. He topped it, and there was a lot of spin on the baseball. The only chance that he had was coming in for the bare hand, but watch this thing come down, and it just spins. And no way. Infield single. Now Matheny goes back up for the 2nd time, and Holland will be done.
So the Indians have 2 on and only 1 out, and the pitching change has been made. And we'll tell you about the 5th pitcher of the day for Kansas City when we come back. Redbird says in his last 21 games from the 7th inning on, Ramirez is 15 for 24 with 4 home runs, 4 doubles, and 11 runs batted in.
How about that? You talk about clutch. Woo. There's your money guy right there. Boy, that's what you want. You want him to get a little swagger going, because that swagger will carry over to this team. And then some other guys will have an opportunity to pitch in, but he has carried the load of the mail today.
Now Josh Naylor to face the only lefty in that bullpen for KC, Jake Brentz. And Naylor looks at a breaking ball for ball one. Brentz came into the game on Sunday against Texas with 1 out and 2 men on base, and he gave up one of those base runners. Said he hit 99.5 miles an hour on a pitch to Joey Gallo on opening day. Fastest pitch thrown by a Royals lefty in the StatCast era. Low and away. And the 2-1 way out in front of it. Josh has 2 hits today. Base hit here can really bust this game open. And he goes down swinging. Second out of the inning.
Stepping in now for the Indians, first baseman.
Here's one of those situations where if the score was inverted, you'd probably see Yu Chang bat here. But with the lead, and you want your better defense out there for the 9th inning, Jake Bauer stays in to bat against the lefty. Yeah, it's amazing, Archie. This guy was a minor league free agent, just released by the Pirates in August of 19. You just don't see many lefties that can throw at 98, 99 miles an hour. And surprising that they just let him go.
The only left-hander they have in that bullpen this year.
Two on, 2 out, 1-2 pitch. Bouncing ball to second base. Inning over. But Jose Ramirez has done it again for the 17th time in his career. A 2-homer game. Cleveland 4, Kansas City 2.
Well, visit the team shop at Progressive Field, where you'll find a full lineup of the latest gear and collectibles for the entire family. For team shop hours and more, visit Indians.com.
Jose Ramirez, the hero of the day, with 2 two-run homers. And the Indians will take a 4-2 lead into the 9th inning. as Nick Whitgren will attempt to nail down the Indians' first save of the year. Whitgren 2 years ago saved 4 games for Cleveland. And Terry Francona told us throughout spring training he was comfortable with any of the late inning relievers, be it Clase, be it Karinchak, or be it Whitgren, using them interchangeably from the 7th inning on, and that's what we've seen today. It was Karinchak who came in the 7th, and then Clase in the 8th, and now Whitgren to pitch tonight.
Well, that's the way I look at it. It looked like that save might have been the 7th inning there when you had 1st and 2nd after Bieber came out trying to put a 0 on the board.
First ball swinging, Hunter Dozier pops it up. Cesar Hernandez, 1 down. And now the left-handed hitting rookie Kyle Isbell, who walked and scored at the time what was the tying run in the 7th inning. A little low. Just a programming reminder, stay tuned for Indians Live postgame following the final out here. Off day tomorrow,
again
Thursday, and then the Indians back in action here Friday night against the Detroit Tigers. 7 o'clock first pitch. Indians Live pregame at 6:30 on Friday.
There's a rarity, huh? 7 o'clock start.
They're all over the board here in the early part of the season.
Been. You're right. 4 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 7, 6.
Check your local listings.
Well, thank God you text me, so I know.
Do they still make a TV guide?
Yeah,
I figured if anybody, you would still get that at home.
They do have one, and your head's on the cover. I just saw it.
Jake Bowers takes it himself, 2 down. You've got that gold plastic cover that you put the TV guide in and keep it on the arm of your Barca lounger.
Yeah, I'm like Frank from Everybody Loves Raymond. I've got my little remote sitting right there. Channel changer, TV guide.
Sue will have a cold beer for you when you get home. Ready?
Yeah, right.
Here's Michael Taylor with 2 down and the base is empty. Whitgren starts him off with a hook. Heartbreaking ball down and out of the strike zone. It's 0-1. Almost 6,000 here this afternoon on an absolutely gorgeous day for baseball. Strike 2. High drive. Deep left field. Back is Rosario at the wall. Makes the catch. He's got it in the glove. Put this one in the books. The Indians win it by a final of 4-2. Tribe gets their first home win of the season. They go to 2-3. Kansas City will leave town with a mark of 3-2. Tell you what, this one, it was another one of those towering fly balls. And even with a 2-run lead, it kept Nick Whitgren
hanging slider.
Oh, he thought, uh-oh.
Oh, yeah. You know what? Maybe it is something about the baseball. He thought it was gone. That's a pitcher's reaction. And he still had a ways to go to get back to the wall. So you got to be happy there. Look at, he was in total shock. That's something you'd have to ask Whitgren. Do you think he was out of here? He certainly did.
Had him all the way, Arch. Had him all the way. So the Indians get the victory. Off day tomorrow. Back to work on Friday night against the Detroit Tigers. Time now for Indians Live post-game with Al, Jensen, Andre. Entertaining ball game on a beautiful afternoon, fellas.
Certainly was, Matt, and great to see the Indians get some runs late. They put 4 on the board, and with the sort of pitching that you get like this, tell you what, that bullpen, man, does it look good so far, doesn't it?
It does, and Jose Ramirez off and running for, we hope, an MVP candidacy. Runner-up last year, he has shown you he can put this team on his back. He certainly did that offensively tonight.
He had all 4 runs batted in, courtesy of 2 home runs. Somebody picked him in their daily fantasy. I wonder who that was. Stay tuned. Indians Live postgame is coming up in just a moment. Keep it right here. We'll have our walk-off interview for you. We'll talk with Terry Francona. We'll take a look at some of the final numbers, and of course, we'll relive Jose Ramirez going yard to right, not once, but twice. Keep it here on Bally Sports.